There's a massive migrant caravan right now heading towards the border. Up to 15,000 illegals. It's the biggest caravan of the year. 730,000 migrants were encountered at the border since October. That's bigger than the populations of Denver and Seattle. Over 200 people on the terrorist watch list were stopped at the border this year. More than 20,000 Chinese nationals also crossed. Remember, these are just migrants that border agents encountered. We don't know how many others have snuck through. In Los Angeles, ICE arrested 26 illegals who are sex offenders, some of them convicted of child sex crimes. None of these people should have ever been let into our country. The White House doesn't care. Biden is sending Blinken and Mayorkas down to Mexico City to meet with Obrador, Mexico's president. Now, Mayorkas is the guy who testified time after time that the border is secure. Everything's fine. And Blinken is the guy who gave billions of dollars in equipment to the Taliban. Clearly, this is a fake mission. No one in this meeting, including Obrador, has any intention of closing America's borders. Meanwhile, polls show that our open borders are becoming one of the voters' top issues. But instead of closing the borders, which our citizens have clearly said they want, the Democrats think they can win by pandering. Here's the governor of Colorado.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad.
That is the definition of cringe. They think that doing a funny dance and butchering a Spanish song will get them votes. Hispanic people who came to America the right way see right through this. But this is just what Democrats do.
Say it with me. Si se puede. The future is ours.
If you're going to pander, at least learn how to pronounce the words. It's si se puede. Brandon Judd is the president of the National Border Patrol Council. Brandon, thanks for joining us this morning. This is just getting out of control. I mean, I think just in the last month, a lot of Americans who were hoping that something might change are starting to lose hope.
And we should. Every single one of us should lose hope with this administration, knowing that they're absolutely not going to do anything that's going to protect United States citizens. When we talk about Blinken and Mayorkas going to Mexico, it's a complete joke that they're going to be there because nothing's going to come of it. Lopez Obrador is going to want to get concessions from the United States government. Mayorkas and Blinken know that they could secure the border tomorrow if they were to do the proper policies right here in our country. We can't rely on other countries to protect our citizens. We have to be able to rely upon our own government, and Biden just won't do it. Lopez Obrador knows that Biden is weak. He's going to treat Blinken and Mayorkas like Biden is weak, and he's going to try to get things out of them. Most likely, he's going to try to get money from our government.
You know, Brandon, I still often think about the why. Why is this happening? Why are they doing this? I would say 6 months ago, a year ago, if you asked me that question, I would have said it was to get votes, right? Like that they want to bring in a whole new population of people that they think might vote Democrat. Over the last couple months, as I have seen this, the increase in flights, the level of coordination between our government, the UN cards, the debit cards with money coming in, the UN, the WHO, some of these governments, it all seems so much more coordinated. And much more globally coordinated than some political domestic issue. What is your take on this? Help us understand what is happening at this moment and the scale of it in terms of this coordination with even non-American entities.
Yeah, these open border activists, they want to change our country fundamentally. It has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with what our culture is, the rule of law. They want to get rid of the rule of law. That's why they're constantly attacking police officers and police agencies throughout the country. They want to make that change, and they're coordinating with dangerous cartels. They don't care about the lives of these women and children that are being put in harm's way by putting themselves in the hands of the criminal cartels. All they care about is what the end goal is, and that is changing our country fundamentally.
Yeah, it's about ending the idea of national sovereignty. I'm completely convinced of it at this point. Brandon Judd, Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.